Then we got money from England. Our foreign sales agent was British, and we got money from Oklahoma, money from New York, all over the place. We just scraped it together with little bits and pieces, and that's how the whole film came about. And then you just rely on the kindness of people like Mary Freitas, who is from Oklahoma, who knows everybody in Oklahoma. And when I said, Mary, I don't have money, but I need fire trucks, and I need firemen, and I need, you know, police cars. She'd be like, okay, honey, let's go. And we would have a meeting with the fire chief, and we would get all of these things. And so that's what, you know, we really truly relied on the kindness of people in Oklahoma and everywhere to try and pull this movie together. Mila, by the way, sang the opening song. It's Proud Mary. She does it in Ukrainian. And the end song is Amazing Grace, and it's done by the Flaming Lips, and it's done phonetically in Ukrainian. I don't know how I got them to do it, but they did it for me.
What was your favorite scene out of the movie?
Oh, I'm not sure. What was yours?
I like the scene in the courthouse, personally.
Yeah, I like that one very much too. And it was, you know, getting the Cat Stevens song for this particular sequence. It was actually the only song that I had written in the screenplay by name. The rest was all stuff that after the fact we started looking for. And then, of course, comes the time when all of a sudden you want to go get a Cat Stevens song, and you realize that a song like that costs like $100,000 or something like that, and it's, you know, it's like 400 times the budget of your music budget, and you go, okay, there's no way I'm going to get this. But then, you know, we tried every song over that sequence, and because it was written exactly, I guess somehow the tempo, everything in my mind with it, there was no song that ever fit. And so finally I wrote a letter to Cat Stevens telling him how much I loved him and his music and everything. And then we were asked to give the scene with the music over it, and I guess he watched it and okayed it, and we got it for much cheaper. Yes? Yeah, I think...
Repeat that question.
Okay, sorry, yeah, with the tempo, in terms of the song, the Cat Stevens song, Trouble, and the tempo, and then in terms of the writing, I have to say what was most challenging is that in the 1930s, there's a very specific tempo to dialogue. And that was my biggest challenge with getting, because people don't watch movies like that anymore, my actors didn't watch movies like that, and it was very much in my head when I had written it, and the tempo of it, and how quickly one line had to, like the specific timing of these lines following one another was really specific, and that was, I think, a tempo that was in my mind, not so much in other people's. But for other ones, I maybe subconsciously, I think, like, you know, even the Trouble song, subconsciously probably the tempo was in my mind, and I didn't realize that until I put the music over it. Yes. You already asked a question. Hold on, I'm going to be democratic for 1 second. Yes.
I'm a drama student, and our teacher makes us analyze every single thing that we watch and do with class. I was wondering why you decided to end the movie with people.
Because I wanted to make sure that we realize that the journey she's going on is one that is at once hopeful, but it's insecure, and it's really the way life is. I mean, she's making an extremely brave choice. She's trying to become a better person so that she can get her son back, and I think she's very specific about that she wants to come and get him back. But how exactly she's going to do that, she doesn't know, we don't know that. To me, it felt like the most honest way to end it, because she's going truly against traffic, because the traffic on that road, if you watch the traffic lights, she is walking against traffic. So it's sort of this uphill battle of how she's going to get there, but she's going to get there because she's a very resilient woman. And that to me felt like, you know, the way the movie should end. I know, because I wrote it, but it was one of those things where I felt I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't know how having that information was going to change anything, and in the end, maybe it was going to make it, the mystery of it all, the fact that there was this shadow of a kid, this, you know, something that the more mystery surrounded that, I thought the easier it would be for them and for us to accept, really for us to accept Bobby coming into their lives, and really maybe truly having a chance in not being in the shadow of somebody. And also because most of the time in life, I mean, there's very little you know about a lot of things and a lot of people. It's sometimes not till after somebody dies that you find out things that you never knew about. So it's very much the way I look at life, and I didn't want to, to me it felt like I would cheapen it if I just got a scene where the violence came out and we got this whole backstory of it. But for me, yes, and I told the actors what it was, but it's not. I didn't feel relevant. And I know that I skipped you, so yes, go back.
What would you have to say to actors and actresses who are trying to get into the actors?
What would I say to actors and actresses, starting actors and actresses, how to get into the business? There is no, yeah, it's what, are you playing? Oh, no, that's not fair. No. Do follow your passion. That would be my first. Don't let anybody deter you from what you want to do. If people say you're too short or too tall or too foreign or too whatever, ignore it. Because whatever it is that initially that sets you apart from people and makes you maybe not be able to get parts in the beginning will initially be the one thing that people are going to point out and what's going to be special about you. But there's no one specific way to get into any business or do anything in life. I think, you know, it's about, because you are creative, you know, as an actor, that's what you do in life. Be creative in how you pursue your, you know, getting a job or getting an agent or getting anything. Stop at nothing. You know, your creativity is part of who you are. Use it for every part. Don't just reserve it for when you're acting. Use it for everything, because you have to be super creative. It's a very competitive business. If, you know, it's not you, it's somebody else who does it, so just try to outsmart somebody. Try to be more creative than they are, and don't give up.
She had a better answer than I did. Let's do one last question. I'll let you pick.
Yes, yeah, no, you. Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't even see behind you. Yes.
What are the hurdles that you have to face now for a broad theatrical release or distribution?
We actually have a distributor.
Good,
We've
good.
been picked up. The film comes out September. It was originally going to come out in March of this year. I had coupled it with, I went back to acting for 2 jobs because I desperately needed to help pay my mortgage in New York. So I took this part in a movie called Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters with Jeremy Renner, which is coming out now in January of 2013, but it was originally meant to come out in March, and so I was going to piggyback the release of Bringing Up Bobby with the release of this big studio film, because getting a little independent film on the market with no money behind you is extremely difficult. And I figured while I was talking about how ugly of a witch I play in this movie, I could slip in this Bringing Up Bobby movie that I directed. But then that got pushed. And so now we pushed it till September, when in October I actually have Taken 2 coming out, which is a movie with Liam Neeson that was a sequel to the first one we did. And so now I'm piggybacking that thing, and when I'm talking about how somebody got taken, a different person gets taken in the movie, I'm going to talk about Bringing Up Bobby again.
Okay, how about a big hand for Famke?
Thank you very much.
So stay in your seats for a second. I'm going to let her, you can go, but I'm going to let Ty take her out of here. So we're going to put her up at the booth, at our festival booth here. So if you guys want to stop by and say hi and get a couple of autographs, we're not going to do that for very long because we have a party to go to. Who's going to the party? Right? Okay, so I want to get all this right. piece of paper in my pocket. Hang on a second. Capitol Lounge.